Well, people say that you sing well, Myles.
Oh, wow. Well, that's
yeah.
that was something my mom maybe said. Or...
We were sitting around the table at the studio, and the question came up, what do you guys think we should name the record? And the self-titled thing was presented, and nobody blinked and said, this is actually the perfect time to do it, because it's been 8 records now. We haven't done it previously, and it's a good representation of the last 20 years of the sound of this band. It's all kind of captured on this album. And with that, we did the very streamlined, straightforward artwork on the cover, just to kind of say, listen, this is about the music. We're not a band that really focuses on our image too much, as you can tell, But
oh, come on, Mark. It's just a minute. We're incredibly lazy. And just self-titled was just like, it took a minute to, let's just call it Alter Bridge. No, it's true. It kind of captured the essence. This record really kind of leans into the thing that we do more than taking any right turns, left turns that we've done along the way, just to a degree. I mean, we always kind of keep it, we keep certain hallmarks intact, but definitely chose not to throw too many curveballs to the fans, not too many, there's no keyboard solos, or we're not bringing any jazz saxophone solos. It's definitely, this is what we do. And so we figured it was appropriate, just called Alter Bridge. And if I reached it all, I hope you we will talk generally at the beginning of it. We'll get on the horn and, hey, so this is going, what are you thinking? And he might be really excited about something he heard or a new approach, or I might be. But it's funny, 9 times out of 10, you start the process and the universe kind of dictates, where you're going. It's a snapshot of where you are creatively, and you just go with the flow, and you're informed by everything, that living brings into the fold, and you roll with it. So you can go into it and say, hey, let's do this, but then life happens and life influences you in real time, and you just listen.
Only once, I think, when I was talking to Myles about doing maybe an acoustic album or something, it's when he had just put out his first solo record, and he's like, we're kind of doing the Americana singer-songwriter-y thing, and that kind of muddies or blurs the lines in between the projects. Now, that Myles has put out his newest record, which is more definitely straight ahead, like a harder rock record. Now it's back in the cards. We can do acoustic.
I did one time. Mark called up and he's like, "Man, I gotta tell you, I've been listening to a lot of accordion music, and I think plugging an accordion into an amplifier with some distortion would be awesome." And I just said, "No, absolutely not." No, I'm joking.
I did say on this record, I was like, you know what? Let's not be predictable. Let's not do any kind of ballad whatsoever. Let's just make it an aggressive, straight ahead, aggressive rock record. It could be atmospheric. It can have moody songs, but nothing like uplifting ballady kind of stuff. And we almost got there. We're at the finish line, and then there was a demo that Myles had that was great. So we're like, all right, well, there's certain, our fans like it.
It certainly isn't an uplifting ballad. I mean, it's a pretty, the content of the ballad is pretty, I don't want to say dark, but it's not a, it's not something I would consider a feel-good ballad.
I mean, when I say uplift, I'm talking about more of like a ballad, how you expect a ballad to be. You can play soft songs that are creepy and eerie and progressive, not that kind of thing, but more of your typical, more straight-ahead ballad that you'd hear us do. And it made itself on the record, but I'm glad. We like dynamics, but and then we had this idea once where like it would be good to do a record of songs that are all like the Blackbird type songs, all telling these long stories. Bands like Opeth do it so well, but like you said, you can pre-plan all you want, but then a song comes out, you're like, well, this 4-minute song would suck as 10 minutes long, so let's just keep it the way it is.
As far as playing the radio game, we did on the first record. You could say there were some like singly sounding songs on there. So I think that it's interesting.
That was before we had our sound, though.
Before we had found our sound. I think we kind of decided after that, like, let's approach this more, instead of trying to create blockbusters. It's like an actor. Like if you're in the film industry, you got the artists and the people who make the blockbusters, and they follow that formula. Then you have those in more like indie films, and we want to make these kind of, you know, artsy films. Not that we're full on artsy. I mean, that's not what we're doing, but we definitely lean a little bit away from kind of what is mainstream in that sense, and just kind of do what we want to do. And we're an A&R person's nightmare, because we're not going to abide. We don't play that game. But I remember we were really kind of sealing the deal was on during the Fortress era, our fourth record, and they were trying to figure out what to follow up our first single with. And there was a song that was short enough to where radio might play it. And we were like, you know what? We want to do Cry of Achilles, which is like a, I don't know, 5 or 6 minute song.
Yeah, it was like this classical acoustic
right
intro. Yeah.
Exactly. And you could just see our manager at the time just pulling his hair, just going, oh gosh, you guys are your always worst
like
enemy.
Put out whatever your best song is, if it's 20 minutes long or not, you know. That. I hate the radio game, having to conform to radio. You know, radio is great. It's a great way to present music to people, but not at the cost of having to rewrite your song for radio, or specifically try to write a radio song. It's liberating to have Alter Bridge where we don't have to follow any rules, or have A&R people telling us how to write our albums, or managers, or anybody that would dare to come in. You know, me and Myles have had very long careers. I don't think that anybody would come in and say, hey, why don't you try this? It's like, dude, I've been trying this for the last 30 years now.
It's fascinating that we've managed to make it work, because they are kind of, you know, it's definitely different sides of the fence. But somehow I guess it's just this strange rock and roll stew that we've managed to, you know, find the right ingredients. I think we pull the right ingredients from each of those genres and subgenres, and have found that when you put them together, it works. But it was certainly there was some trial and error in the beginning, and as in trying to create anything that has somewhat of where you're trying to define yourself, you know, and not just simply create something that has already been done and just follow that to you know, that exact blueprint. Art is you're taking elements from everything. There's no such thing as somebody who's created something out of thin air. You are pulling something from somewhere, but it's a matter of how much do you extract from each thing, and how do you utilize that to where it's all going to come together and work. And somehow, we've gotten lucky.
I think a lot of it has, when you play these songs live, they're a lot of fun. When it's heavy and aggressive, and sometimes when you write the sappy ballad, it's not so much fun to play live. So,
what are you saying? You saying that song was sappy?
And you know what I'm saying. If it's heavy and aggressive, it's great to play live. Crowds react to it very well. We get put in situations, and this is probably a big one we don't think about a lot. We get put in a lot of situations where we'll be at a festival going on after Sepultura, or those situations where you're playing back to back with Slayer. You got to have these. It rubs off on you. You see how it works for these bands. You see Sepultura just crushing crowds. It's like, I want to have that response. So not that you're specifically writing for anything, but what you want personally. But I love that kind of music, and if I could somehow adapt what Slayer and Sepultura and what these bands that I grew up listening to are doing, have it somehow seep into Alter Bridge, I'm all about it.
I think we've been doing it for so long at this point. We kind of, once it's turned in and you throw it out there, you're just like, well,
You don't care anymore.
I don't know if you don't care, but I think we've learned to let the chips fall as they may, and try not to be too attached to, everyone's going to have their opinions on things, and that's great. This is art, and people, want to express how they feel about something. But for us, we feel like, I think we can agree on this, that we did the best we could, and we were able to take a snapshot of where we were and do it in a as honest of a way as possible.
The devil in disguise is steeped in hate.
Like your mom saying, if you tried your hardest, Myles.
Then you succeeded.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's all you can do at the end of the day. I think you do more than I do. I haven't in well over a decade. I can't. I feel like, because even if it's good, it's not necessarily great for the creative process. Because then I feel like I'm trying to live up to a certain expectation, or I feel like it's actually nudging me one way or the other. I think if I continue to live in this state of complete oblivion, where I don't know what anybody thinks, I just do what I do. It's very untainted, and if you read something that's negative, then that can have an adverse effect as well. You, on the other hand, have much, I think, a different philosophy. You tend to, at least dip your toes in once in a while.
Well, people say that you sing well, Myles.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah.
that was something my mom maybe said. Or
Do they say you play guitar well?
Well, I've gotten more like Myles over the years. It's just you could read 10 great things and you read the one lukewarm one and it just pisses you off. It's like, how dare you? I put everything I have into this. And that's we put everything we have into this. Is very personal to us. So somebody who's just like, oh, let me give it a listen. That will make you angry with people. So